in chemistry, we come across what we can call covalent bonds. And these covalent bonds are formed when one or more pairs of electrons are shared between atoms. So the key word here is shared. Now, we can take that a step further, and we have something called nonpolar covalent bonds. So I have a couple of blanks to fill in on this definition. So two atoms with equal electronegativity that share the electron pairs equally. So that's what nonpolar covalent bonds are. Two atoms with equal electronegativity that share the electron pairs equally. So the key words here are equal and equally. So they have to have an equal electronegativity, and that means they share these electrons equally. Now, the opposite of this would be polar covalent bonds, which don't share the electron pairs equally. In other words, the electrons spend more time with one atom over the other. So we have this general definition of covalent bonds, which just means they share atoms, but it doesn't describe how they share them. So we have nonpolar and polar. But the key definition here is nonpolar covalent bonds, who do share the electron pairs equally. Now there's one more definition I need to give you, and that's the definition of the octet rule, which is outermost shells must contain 8 electrons to be complete. So the key word there is 8. So say, for example, we have oxygen. And oxygen has 7 electrons. So we have 2 oxygens here, and these dots represent an electron, so they each have 7. But according to the octet rule, the outermost shells must contain 8 electrons to be complete. So what they can do here is become covalent bonds, meaning that they're sharing electrons pairs equally. So all these electrons around the outside are their own electrons, but this electron pair right here in the middle is being shared equally between the 2 oxygens to become diatomic oxygen. Now there is an exception to the octet rule, and that is with hydrogen and helium. And so these only need 2 electrons. And so say we had hydrogen, it has 1 electron, we have another hydrogen with 1 electron. They can come together and they can share that electron pair equally between them, and now they have all the electrons that they need. Okay? And so the way nonpolar covalent bonds usually come about is when 2 nonmetals chemically bond together. And so what these atoms are trying to do is have a complete outer shell of 8 electrons. And so what we have here now is 2 hydrogen atoms, and over here we have 2 oxygen atoms. So we have diatomic hydrogen, diatomic oxygen. And so these are exhibiting nonpolar bonds because the atoms have equal electronegativities. So sometimes you may be dealing with 2 atoms that are of different elements. But here, since the atoms are the same element, you know they're going to have equal electronegativities because they're the same type of atom. And because they have those equal electronegativities, they're able to share those electron pairs equally as well.